Yeah, so they just told me in the meantime, just try to time it. Like if I feel some stool coming out, just run to the bathroom really quick. But yeah, my anal muscles just aren't clamping down as hard as they need to be. So
Wow, man.
yeah, I go back next week. So
So-
they'll tell me if there's anything they can do. So
Do you have any idea like how it started or what you did?
no, it's just one day I just started pooping my pants.
Dang, man.
Yeah. So I don't know exactly where to go from here, but
Right. Well, there's no shame in adult diapers.
yeah, I'm actually I'm wearing some right now. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'd hate to have stool on stool.
Yeah, that's so true.
Sorry, I shouldn't
Yeah,
be making
no,
jokes.
it's fine. I'm just trying to, humor is a good way to, process.
Right.
you know.
Process. Interesting word again. Interesting.
All right, you ready to start this thing?
Yeah,
or-
let's do it.
All right. You all good to go?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to SoundMind. I'm Justin Haas. He's Stevie D. And I'm going to start with a word from our first sponsor.
Yeah, so exciting.
Yeah, it's really cool. So it's a really interesting product called the Totally. Sorry, I should be professional. We're getting paid for this. Let me try again. The Totally Obedient Narrow Guiding Uvula Extricator. Have you ever found yourself, Stevie,
I know I have.
brushing your teeth and you just gag?
Yeah.
Well, the Totally Obedient Narrow Guiding Uvula Extricator, or tongue for short, is
Right.
placed within the mouth and it holds the uvula up. So you can't flip and hit that guy and
Brilliant.
vomit everywhere.
Brilliant.
So yeah, just give it it's 3 payments of $39.99. And they'll ship it to you within 6 to 8 months.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
look it up.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you, tongue.
we got paid $50 for that.
Right, and we got one for free.
Yeah,
Each of us.
each of us got one. We don't share.
Anymore. Just kidding.
Not since we read those studies.
Be crazy. All the bacteria on those things. Bacteria.
Bacteria.
All right, so let's jump into this topic today.
Yeah. Well, first I just want to talk about how far we've come.
Yes.
I mean, we have a sponsor now.
That's right. That's about it.
That's about it.
That's how far we've come.
Yeah, we have one sponsor.
Wow. Jeez. Well, that was short. I feel discouraged.
Yeah, usually they give you a script.
Yeah.
I didn't get one.
Right.
So they just said, tell people what it is.
Well, I'm talking about how far we've come. You said, let's take some time to tell them how far we've come. And
Far.
Far is how far we've come.
This is our 20th episode, right?
Yeah, this is number 20. Yes.
Yeah.
And
Feeling
it's going to be a momentous occasion.
Yeah.
So, where do we start? Where do we begin?
The end.
I like starting from the end as well.
Go backwards.
It's like, what's that movie called with Brad Pitt? The Case of...
Oh, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's backwards, right?
Yeah, he ages backwards.
Okay, so let's start at the end.
I'm 87.
I am...
This is
dead.
This is episode 9,812. We really picked up the pace as we got older.
As well as the pacemaker. I just picked
pacemaker?
that up last week.
I have 4.
Okay.
4 pacemakers.
I don't like where this is going.
1 for each testicle. And 1 for my heart. And 1 in my mouth.
Do they make pacemakers for... I don't think for your man parts. That's a thing.
Well, they're not for your man parts.
They are your man parts.
Sometimes you just need a little kickstart.
Wow. Okay. So, we're moving to the middle now. Bad. Bad.
Where the
choice of words.
pacemakers are.
Okay, so what
Yep.
we're going to talk about today.
We were going to talk about stuff.
Yeah, stuff that has to do with music.
Yes.
And philosophy.
Because we're really good at keeping on topic.
That is so true about
And
us.
we really do a great thing there.
That
with
is
that.
so true. And
Yep.
we are SoundMind, and our podcast is about music and philosophy.
And philosophy.
So subscribe and like. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe and like and share if you enjoy it on
Yep.
Facebook.
If you like me, put a like on it.
If you like him, put a like on it.
Yeah.
Butcher that.
Yeah. It's fine.
It's good. So
They got the reference.
And also, we filmed this thing at Skytree Studios, which is located at Zion, Spokane.
Spokane,
So
Washington.
you-
Not Spokane.
That's right. And not Spokompton. Although we have been confused with such.
Yes.
So, yeah, Skytree. You can find us on Facebook. Like us there. Share us. Do all the good stuff.
Share us with all your
We're
friends.
on every podcast forum you can imagine.
Well, actually not. But
Yes.
I think we're missing from like a few.
No.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Because
Everyone.
my brother actually was like, hey, I didn't see your podcast on such and such platform. And I was like, what platform is that? I don't actually remember the name of it.
Lies.
I know.
We're everywhere.
We see everything.
Okay, Justin is giving you correct information, and I am being weird.
Yeah.
Which is, man, how the
Flipped.
tables
Yeah.
have turned.
We really turned it around, didn't we?
Yeah. I don't know if that's a good thing.
Probably.
All right, let's bring it back to Earth,
Yeah.
which is where we are right now in Spokane, Washington.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about this crazy little thing called love. Not really. We're going to talk about music.
Yep.
And it keeps coming up. We keep going into this topic about self-care
Yeah.
and music's part in and how we use it to care for ourselves.
Yes.
And then some people don't use it for that at all.
Yep.
So I don't know. Where do you want to start with this thing?
Observationally.
Okay.
So we'll start with, I don't know, my approach.
Yeah.
The way that I pick music is, like, say, on a commute, is largely due to mood.
Yeah.
And either I want to, it's not completely due to mood, but a lot of it has to do with the way that I process. So I'll be going to work, and if I'm feeling good,
Right.
I might be a little more adventurous. And I'm like, oh, I haven't heard this album yet.
Yeah.
I'm going to pump it,
I'm gonna explore new realms.
Yeah, and if I'm
music.
a little more, say, stressed out or whatever, I tend to go towards what's more familiar, more comfortable. Why this is, I do not know, but I think it has a lot to do with the fact that music is very regulatory, and it's different for different people. Like, I could listen to something kind of intense, more on the intense side, like Silent Planet, great band, by the way, and that actually helps me relax, depending on my mood, depending on my starting point. But for someone that doesn't listen to Silent Planet or is just unfamiliar with heavier music in general, that might just stress them out more.
Right.
And so there's some music that we tend to gravitate towards depending on A, familiarity, and B, mood. And that was kind of my starting point for this. And we've talked about it before, like the feeling of just squeezing the pus out
Yes.
of a wound.
Squeezing the pus out.
For those of you that can't see what I'm doing, I actually grabbed my shoulder and squeezed it to imitate the squeezing of a giant boil.
Getting the toxic pus out
Yeah.
is of the utmost importance.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, that's all? That's all?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so self-care, using that. Okay, so you brought up that point about how that brings you peace, but it
Yeah.
might stress somebody else out. And there's some
Yeah.
case studies about that, like that you can do
Yep.
research on, where people listen to the same song by the same band or artist, and one person is transmitting a certain type of response, like a
Yep.
lower heart rate, blood pressure going down, these kind of things. And
Yeah.
then the other person is getting the exact opposite effect
Yeah.
from the same song.
Yeah. And a lot of it has to do with familiarity, I imagine.
Yeah.
Because for this study, and it's been years since I read about this, so, you know,
Forgive you for any of the misinformation you might give.
yes, please.
Yes.
But I think it was in Australia, and they just grabbed a bunch of people that listen to music regularly, and then they intentionally chose some metalheads,
Right.
and then they would play different styles of music. But the main one that they were kind of looking for a response from was like, it was some Metallica song. And for the people that are not familiar with Metallica, it caused higher stress levels. And for people that were familiar with Metallica, it lowered their stress level.
Right.
So just because it's heavy doesn't mean that people get amped, basically.
Yeah. That's like ADHD meds, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it's like methamphetamine.
Yeah.
And for people that legitly have a hard time, focusing, that have ADHD, I believe that a lot of people that are diagnosed with ADHD actually don't need medication. And
Yeah.
they're
That's been pretty well documented up to this point, I think, is that, like, it's a little off topic, but that there's a huge overdiagnosis problem with ADHD. And I don't think that that's controversial. I think that that's pretty well accepted by this point.
right.
But yeah.
Yeah, so the point being is it mellows people out that really need it.
Yeah.
But other people that don't really have ADHD, it's like taking meth, because that's basically what it is.
Yeah.
And,
But that is what it is.
How many people know that meth doesn't typically calm you down?
Did you know that meth is short for methamphetamine?
I did know that.
And that a lot of the meds for ADHD are methamphetamines?
I did know
in
that.
Various versions.
Yeah.
Do your research, folks.
Methamphetamines and amphetamines.
Yes.
Cocaine fits in that category as amphetamine.
Did you know that Hitler did amphetamines?
I did not. I did hear that they used them for, the military and stuff, but I didn't know that he used them.
They were using
specifically.
it to try to treat his Parkinson's.
Yeah. I saw this awesome billboard that said ADHD, or what did it say? Oh, man. I'm going to butcher it now.
Don't butcher it.
I don't want to
Stevie.
butcher it. Give me a second to come up with it. But it was, I can't remember if it was the medication or ADHD, but it said diagnosing ADHD, helping lazy parents since 19 something.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, I
That's
loved
brutal.
it. I loved it.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Because it's like I don't know, man. Because you don't get over ADHD, right?
Right.
If you actually have it, it's going to be with you, and you have to figure out a way to regulate it.
Right.
But humans in general need to regulate themselves, so it's interesting that we're getting to this. But if your kid's flying off the wall, it's possible he just doesn't know how to regulate himself.
Right.
Because all kids have an element of that, of just like freaking out, like ripping their clothes off and just screaming and being crazy. Like, and then they have to figure out how to dial it back as they get older.
Right.
And so you're not doing them any favors by giving them meth.
Yeah. Right. Justin, I don't know if every kid has an element of ripping their clothes off and screaming.
My entire family was that way.
Interesting.
And none of us have ADHD.
Okay. Well,
But-
I'm just saying that wasn't normal, despite how normal it was in your
think
family
it is.
circle.
I think. Well, we come from a class of warrior tribe,
Okay. That
so
makes
it's in our
sense.
blood.
Right. All
you
right.
know?
That makes more sense. More sense.
yeah.
Do not medicate the tribal bloodline out
Yeah.
of your family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It should be there.
Yeah, there's some people that legitly have ADHD that
Yeah.
I feel that, medication can help.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, America over medicates. That's not. That's not a
Right.
new thing.
Right. Yeah, we're not saying if you're out there taking ADHD meds that you're bad or lazy or that your parents were lazy, but some of you might be lazy and have lazy parents.
Well, I know a kid that was on ADHD meds, and he asked to be taken off of them when he became a teenager, and he mellowed out super hard.
Wow.
Like, I couldn't even believe it. But he was just always yelling, screaming. He was always talking really fast, and he mellowed way down
Yeah,
when
that
he
kid
got off
basically
those meds.
was addicted to methamphetamine
Yeah.
his whole life.
Yeah, and it was like, for what? He didn't even have ADHD, as far as I can tell.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Stupid.
tried to have my mom medicate me when I was in kindergarten.
Dang.
Yeah, and she was like, no. And still to this day, like, I think in threes. Like, it's something that I've learned how to regulate, but
Yeah.
I'm creative and I do better when I think in threes. So I can have three different subjects or three different, pieces of content related to each other or not related to each other. And if I am looking at them at the same time, boop, bip, boop, and then coming back, I do better.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It's just part of the way I am.
Should we do a podcast about it?
Yeah, that'd be fun. Maybe I could even demonstrate. If you've seen like the way I do office work, it's crazy. That's why I have like 2 screens and my laptop and my phone, and they're all on different things, and I'm like beep, boop, beep, boop, boop, bouncing between them.
That's how I am when I'm installing mods on Skyrim.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so you're waiting to load. Yeah, part of it is
research.
Yeah.
So like I have the game open and I'm playing the game. And I'm okay, the mod's not working. So I have my laptop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why is the mod not working?
And as I'm doing something on there, I'm looking at the mod page or whatever.
Yeah.
I also have a YouTube video of how to fix the problem running on my phone.
Yeah. Hashtag Skyrim.
Hashtag Skyrim Special Edition. Hashtag what the F.
Whoa. I don't actually. No, that wasn't that cool.
No.
So let's talk about this. I want to talk about this. All right.
This.
Music and self-care.
And all that.
Yeah. So I personally, I don't think I always listen to music for self-care. Maybe I do for one form or another. But the therapeutic aspect in my life, when I am going through emotional times, or I'm angry, or I have an emotional response, or I'm just going through some things, music is something that I come to very often.
Yeah.
To mellow me out, to help me process. A lot of stuff that I like to listen to will have lyrical content that is going to help me believe things that I should be believing. And kind of help pull me out of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just get my mind in a different spot. Because, like, when you go through hard times, I don't know about you, but, like, I can beat myself up. I can start believing the worst, where you're inside your head, like, oh, my God, everything sucks. It's all going to hell. And, so I might be one of those people that I'm listening to a Metallica song in the midst of stuff, and, it's stressing me out because they're like, everybody's going to hell and everything's falling apart. Well, it's probably not a Metallica song, but fairly close. No, I'm just kidding. My point is that I like to listen to, messages and things that are actually going to get me into the right mindset.
Yeah.
So with that said, like for me, a lot of lyrical content's hugely important for me when I'm in those modes.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I still like to listen to a lot of instrumental music, but I would say usually it's slower tempo, mellow, got a lot of components that help me like enter into a place of reflection.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of some personal stuff there, but we were talking about the other aspect is not everybody listens to music for self-care.
Yeah.
It's like almost like the opposite sometimes it feels like it's true. Or they're like going through something and they're like, hurry up, turn on something. I just need noise in my face.
Yeah.
Like, let me look at my phone while I listen to this music while somebody's screaming in the background. So I don't actually think about what's really going wrong inside.
I think, I kind of linking it to over-medicating.
Yeah.
But we I can't speak for the world, but as Americans, we very much like to ignore problems. We were talking about that earlier too, unrelated to this, but just kind of, it's uncanny, our ability to just distract,
Yeah.
It's like if you went to the doctor and this would never really happen, but say your anal muscles just weren't clamping down.
Right.
And, the poop was just coming out.
Yeah.
Like, just randomly.
That could be a real problem.
Because you couldn't, if it were to ever happen, which it wouldn't. Because it's impossible.
I don't think that's impossible.
Yeah.
I don't think you think that's impossible either.
No, I think it's impossible. I don't think it would ever happen.
Okay.
But if that were to happen to anyone, like someone, out there in the world.
Yeah.
And they knew it was going to happen because it had happened already.
Right.
But they took no preventative measures. They just
Right.
I didn't really think that through, actually.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, there's no shame in like man diapers for a
yeah,
person.
it's
like
true. It's true. I mean, I would support anyone that decided to wear man diapers to prevent anal spillage.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about that? Like, if they were ever on a show, they would probably have to be careful, like how they shift and stuff, because these microphones could probably pick up the sound of a diaper moving on a
Especially
stool.
if it was full.
Right. Wow. That would be sad.
It would be.
Yeah. How
if
full can a man diaper get? How off
Very.
topic are we? And how do you know?
I have a friend.
Okay. So, kind of like the medication piece you were saying. Did you have a landing spot for that?
Basically, the landing spot is to address the thing would, in our minds, be more painful than to not address the thing.
Right.
And so, essentially, we just keep numbing it instead of doing surgery.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I guess that's a better example.
Yeah,
than
and I
pooping,
think I mean, it's true. It hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts to go there and to like deal with pain, you know. But I think it causes way more lasting damage to not to, you know. What do you think about like everybody on their phones, tablets, stuff like that? Everybody seems distracted, or at least like from the numbers show it. We're always looking at screens. We're always talking. There's always information going in. You know, like kind of this idea of getting quiet or turning things off. Like it's almost interesting when you suggest like, hey, let's turn our phones off to a group of friends. You almost can hear like, what? Yeah, I'm offended.
Yeah.
We turn our phones off now. But what do you think about that? You think that's adding to the problem? You think that's a condition of the problem? Or what?
I don't think it's part of the problem, but it's very easy. I think it's just an easy thing to be distracted by because, you know, the internet is a magical thing. You can find anything you want.
All right.
You can find Skyrim mods.
All right.
Or you could find...
Thank God for that.
Yeah, thank God, because it's an old game.
All right.
And I'm trying to make it look pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember what I was saying. Internet's a magical thing. You can find anything that you want. But that's part of what makes it such an easy culprit is because it's so easily distracting. And, you know, we want to be distracted. So what's better to distract you than your phone? Something that's with you. Access to this huge network of information and activities.
Right.
Like right there.
Yeah.
So you gravitate towards it because it's easy. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with the fact that it is what it is. But again, going back to self-regulation, like so if Facebook is a problem for you, then, you know, you can take a step back.
So how do you know? How do you know it's a problem? Like if you are distracting yourself, do you have any ideas of like things you could look for? You know? Because I think that if you're distracted, you might not know there's a problem.
Yeah. I think a good barometer, I think Facebook is a pretty good example. Apple's good about that kind of stuff. You know, just telling you, hey, this is how much. Actually, I think they.
Excuse me.
They might have removed it in an update, but I used to get weekly notifications. This is how long you've been on your phone.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if it doesn't do that anymore. I wonder if they updated it because people got upset.
Or they don't want you to realize how distracted you are by using their method.
It was good because I was spending way too much time on Facebook.
Right.
So
Facebook would never want you to know that, probably.
yeah, well, so I deleted it, and I haven't been on Facebook since. It's been a couple months.
Oh, interesting.
I do have an Instagram, but Instagram doesn't. It's not the same flow as Facebook, so I don't feel like endlessly just scrolling. It does feel very finite, like. And it tells you when you've caught up to everything.
Right.
So all the people that you're following, you've seen all of their posts.
Right.
And so it just goes, hey, you did it. You saw everything that you need to see, and you can just step back. So that's cool. Whereas on Facebook, they would just when you're right about to close the app, you would see a new thing. You go, oh. And so they had it perfected to a science, like how long can I keep people scrolling past ads?
Right.
So yeah. Anyway, I don't feel like my life is any worse off. But anyways,
Right.
yeah. If something is disrupting a relationship, I feel like that's a pretty good indicator. So if someone is trying to engage with you and you're locked away, but I think there's a difference between I need this time to maybe recuperate, or because some people are loners, some people are introverts. I'm an introvert. I get that. So I get like stepping away, like going to your room, chilling for a while, playing on your phone, whatever, come back out. But if that doesn't end,
Yeah.
it's like there's probably something that you need to address.
Right.
Because so you can recover, recover from whatever it is that you're not dealing with.
Yeah, so like creating relational stress, like if you got people that are constantly like, hey, or not even constantly, maybe just mentioning, like, hey, how can you spend some time with me? Can you do this? Or maybe you find yourself angry when people do that
Yeah.
because it's going to pull you away from your distraction.
I'm trying to play Hearthstone. Actually, speaking of which, I actually really like Hearthstone.
Yeah.
It's a phone game.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
Hashtag Hearthstone
Hearth.
Hearth.
Like your hearth.
shows how much I know.
About hearths?
Hearthstone. Well, no, don't even.
Well, it's a card game, and I feel like there's a decent level of progression. It's skill-based.
Yeah. Wow.
It's good.
You're pumping the games.
Yeah, man. I'm
So
sponsored.
do you feel like you're distracted in any areas of your life right now?
I have a lot going on.
Yeah.
I've got music, Hearthstone,
Right.
Skyrim mods.
Right.
How am I going to keep up? No.
So the answer is yes. Absolutely.
Well, the cool thing about Hearthstone is like one match of Hearthstone is like 5 minutes long.
Right.
So I can do a match or two.
Yeah, but you just said I have a lot going on in my life and then mentioned three games. So,
Yeah. Well,
right.
I have a job
Yeah.
and 3 games.
Right.
Well, I don't know if Skyrim is necessarily a good example because I just started playing it again.
Yeah.
Like 2 days ago. But yeah, I have a full-time job. I'm working on music. I'm trying to get together with my bandmates twice a week.
You're married?
Which is impossible. Right. I'm married. And so I have a lot going on in my life. And so, I do have to regulate what I spend my time on.
Right. Absolutely.
And
Do you feel like there's areas in your life emotionally right now that you are distracted from?
No. Not really.
Great.
I'm just constantly aware
You're right.
and stressed out.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Very honest.
Yeah. I am aware though. I feel like I am aware of the stresses in my life.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I can fix them.
Right. Or that you don't take breaks to be like, you know what?
I'm
going
to
to play Hearthstone.
Yeah, I'm gonna play Hearthstone.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna beat this guy on the internet I don't even know.
Right.
And I'm gonna feel great about it.
That's right.
And if I get beaten by him, I am gonna cry myself to sleep.
And then I'll
Because
play
that was
some Skyrim
gonna
to
play some
redeem myself
Yes.
on a level I know that
Yes.
I'm great at,
Yes.
if that's a thing.
Not really. But Skyrim is an open world game.
Right.
So you can just take time to explore, experience. The music is fantastic.
Right.
So it's a great game to play if you're just like, I want to just disappear.
Yeah. So here's a question. Have you ever been distracted? Have you ever distracted yourself when you've been in emotional turmoil?
Yeah.
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 So have you ever had times where you got away from your distractions, like, where you go camping or you don't have your phone dies or you end up in a space where all of a sudden your emotions and your thoughts come like flooding in?
Not since I was like 18, 19.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there was a lot going on in my life at the time
Yeah.
in a different way
Yeah.
than now. And, I just moved out. I was at a job I didn't like.
Yeah.
I didn't have a car, so I had to walk.
Right.
And so there was just like, and if I was walking to my job, it was like, well, so I had a bike up until the winter time, and it was like a 45-minute bike ride.
Right.
So I don't remember how long it took to walk, but it was
How long?
it was a ways.
Yeah.
And so I'm like in the winter, and I'm walking to Walmart, which is where I worked, Graves.
Wow.
So it's like 10 at night, and I'm freaking cold. Yeah, that was stressful because it was like a really long walk both ways, and I had hardly any time to just do anything or process anything, and I had just moved out, and it was, yeah. So I think that particular time, definitely, I was like going through a lot, and I was, just constantly trying to be distracted, and I didn't have time, and it was really messing with my head.
You didn't have time to be distracted, or you didn't have time to process it?
Neither.
Yeah.
I didn't have time to be distracted, didn't have time to process.
Because you have this long walk, right?
Yeah.
So, like, how do you get away from all your thoughts festering on this long walk?
Music.
Yeah.
I listen to music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever have those moments when, like, you didn't have anything and you felt, you know what I mean, the tension of, oh, I can't be distracted right now?
Yeah. And, and I think it's okay to be distracted to a point because it helps you control the flow. Because you should know yourself.
Yeah.
Not everyone does, but you should know yourself well
it takes
enough.
time to get to know yourself.
That's true.
Yeah. It takes time to even figure out who yourself is.
Yeah. Who is self?
Who is self?
But, just to say, okay, this is as much as I can handle right now, and I need to close off this sensory thing and just either A, distract myself, or B, I need to let some stuff in, process, and then, however you do it. People process stuff in so many different ways.
Yeah.
Some people only do it verbally, and then they don't have friends, and then they refuse to go to therapy.
Right.
Which is like a really bad combo.
Right.
It's like if you need to process stuff verbally and you can't do it with your friends, you need to go to therapy.
Right.
Or something like just get it out. But
some people don't do it.
Yeah, and it creates this really unhealthy dynamic, like in your family or whatever relationships you have, or even in your own brain. Like if you can't sit down by yourself and do nothing. Without feeling stressed out and like, oh, I've got to do something. I think it's a pretty good symptom.
Yeah.
That there's something going on up here that you need to deal with and you're not.
Right. Yeah. That's a good thought of using like some calm meditation style music with no lyrics. And just to see like what happens, like what comes to mind, what thoughts do you have, because that's the thing about lyrics is sometimes I feel like that too when I worship, it's like a song. It could be even a song I like, but it's not necessarily where I'm at in life, so I kind of like, I'll sing along during worship, but I'm waiting for something that I can connect with, like where I'm at. But the thing with lyrical content, like it paves a trail for you. It offers you a trail to go down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that trail could be like, as great songs in a great moment are, a trail that's, wow, man, I really can relate. This is exactly where I'm at.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I need to hear. But it also can be a trail that's nowhere close to where you're at, and you just go down it, and you're, I would say you're more distracted on where you're really at, you know? So the good thing about even taking some time for, like, with some instrumental music is, like, you don't have a trail.
Yeah.
Right? So then all of a sudden your thoughts and your emotions can kind of speak or scream or squeal or whatever they do.
A great instrumental band that I listen to quite a bit. And I think I've talked about them before. This Will Destroy You is what they're called, and they do a great mix. Like
That's awesome.
They don't go hard, as they say, but they do some really chill, really ambient stuff, and then they do some more like maybe chaotic is the right word.
Yeah.
But a really good swath of emotions. Like it's not just one, like chill. It's not just chill. It also gets a little bit more intense. But yeah, they're really great. And I feel like I do listen to them kind of with that in mind. It's just being like, just following wherever the music in my brain will go together and seeing what happens.
That's awesome. And it won't destroy you because you're obviously still here and you've been listening to it. So.
Right. I don't think they're talking about themselves.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what this is.
Right.
But something.
Yeah.
Something will destroy you. Time.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, what do you think?
We'll actually have to.
You have to head out? All right.
Go.
Yeah. So should we just call it?
Or
do you want to go and come back?
Well, I mean, Whatever you want, really. I mean, we can do whatever we want. This is our podcast.
We can do whatever we want. Yeah. Well, I mean, no, not you, because if you wanted to not, it would probably be.
Well, I mean, you're the only one here besides me. So. Well, I mean, but they wouldn't know.
They will. They will know.
If you build it, they will come.
Okay. Well, this is SoundMind, and that's it. We're going to sign off for the day. Join us next time when we will have a surprise guest for you or not.
It could be one of two people, or it could be zero of two people.
What?
So
talking about who knows what, but we do know when. July 5th.